Hi. So loadouts, they're pretty important, aren't they? You use them, I use them, everybody should be using them. And in this video, I've got a couple tips so that all of us can make the best of them. And there'll be chapters down below so you can skip to each one if you want to. But we're going to go ahead, get straight into it, and start with what I think is the most valuable one. And that is being able to switch loadouts without changing your weapons, because there's nothing more annoying than being in an activity, switching your loadout, and then you've just got no ammo to do anything. So as you can see in my loadouts, I've got my solar one with the Claws of Ahamkara. Switch to that, my weapons stay the same. Stasis, weapons stay the same. Strand, weapons stay the same. Because your weapons, they're really going to differ depending on the activity, not so much just the loadout. You're going to want something different for salvages and something different for deep dives. So let's get in how to do this. So we'll just go ahead onto my Sunbracers build here, and we'll make a new loadout. As you can see, it's got my Arbalest, my BXR, and my Cold Comfort, as well as all my class stuff. If I want this just as an armor loadout, not switching my weapons, let's say I go to Stasis, and then, oh, I want to switch to this one. If I have my weapons or whatever, I mean, you know how it works. It's going to switch my weapons. Don't necessarily want that. So what we want to do instead is, if you have your loadout that you want to just have as armor only, you'll equip it like we did here. And then you're going to go and get some gear that you can delete. And the best way to do this is to get blues, because you're not going to be getting any of those. So there's never going to be anything that Destiny can actually equip in those slots. You're going to pull them from collections. And then when you go back to your character, equip them. So now they're in the slot. Armor stays the same, class stays the same. We're going to go here, and we're going to override it. Now, in those weapon slots, there's blues. But if we equip whatever we want, this and Salvager Salvo and Apex Predator, and then we go ahead and delete the blues, then now whenever I switch to this loadout, it doesn't change the weapons. I can switch to my Strand loadout, switch back, weapons stay the same, allowing you to curate just armor to what you need, and then you can handle the weapons yourself by just keeping them in your inventory, because we already pretty much do that. The next useful tip, also a fairly common one, is, I just made this loadout, but it's just a dupe. I don't want that thing, and it's kind of an eyesore to look at. I really just don't want this in my loadout list. So we can actually delete loadouts. Not in game, because Bungie, but through the API on third-party websites such as Destiny Item Manager. So here we are at Destiny Item Manager. We've got our inventory screen, but where we want to go is to loadouts at the top. And you can actually see we have an in-game loadout section. And this right here is the loadout that I don't like. I don't want it anymore. So what we can do is we can click these three dots here, get a drop-down menu, and I can just clear slot 5. Which, once I've done that, and we go back inside of Destiny, as you can see, it's gone. I've got a cleaner loadout list, and I don't even have to worry about whatever I just made. So, for anybody that's got some unwanted loadouts, use this tip to get a little bit more organized. The next tip, little quick one here, is that back on Destiny Item Manager in the loadouts menu, we can actually click on the three dots again, and then go to Edit Loadout Name and Icon, which allows us to look at all of the options and just really quickly choose what we want it to look like, which is a lot different than what we have in game, where we have to tab through every option one by one, and if you miss one, you got to go through it all the way again. It's really not super intuitive. This makes up for that. And then for the next tip, which is definitely a lot more situational, it's for those hot swap scenarios. Let's say you're on your DPS loadout, like here it's a Starfire Protocol, and you want to switch to Luna's really quick. You can go here, put on Luna Faction boots, go straight back, go into DPS loadout. And that's done in one button click, rather than 2, because you don't have to go here and swap your loadouts like that. By using the same method of having items cannot be found, you can swap your exotic, which in my case was the Starfire Protocol, to a legendary, and swap your Lunafaction boots in at the same time, and then swap back. Again, a lot more situational, so this only works for things, you know, Well of Radiance, Ward of Dawn, but it has its use cases. And for the final tip I have to really go over today is kind of a no-brainer if you've used Dem loadouts before. You can have more than the 10 you have in game. This Arc loadout that I have isn't saved in game, but of course I can just click apply and that will equip it just like a normal loadout. So if you find yourself having a ton of loadouts, think about saving some inside of Dem. And that's really all I've got. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from this little video. And if you like what I do, a subscription would be super appreciated. And if you'd like to support me and support this channel, and you can't think of a comment down below, loadouts. Anyways, once again, thank you so much. I hope to see you around.